You are doing everything right. Same meals, same routine. Then, out of nowhere, cravings hit like a switch flipped. Your energy goes flat. Hunger gets louder. The scale will not move, and your waist will not budge. Your ketone meter looks weird, or suddenly reads lower for no reason. That is the worst part, because it makes you doubt yourself. Most of the time, it is not your willpower. It is hidden carbs quietly pushing you over budget. Moving to slide 2. Ketosis is not fragile, but it is math. You get a daily carb limit, and you can spend it without realizing it. A splash of milk and coffee, a few bites of onion, a handful of nuts, one keto bar. None of those feels like a problem, but together they can push you out. Net carbs are where people get trapped. Labels subtract fiber and sugar alcohols, but not every fiber acts the same for every person, and some sugar alcohols behave a lot like sugar. Then there is serving size. A label might be 2 net carbs for 1 tablespoon, but you are pouring 3. And if you rely on tracking apps, double-check entries. People copy the wrong product all the time. Moving to slide 3. Sauces are the fastest way to keto fail a perfect plate. Ketchup, BBQ, teriyaki, sweet chili, and many salad dressings can hide sugar in plain sight. Marinades, glazes, and dry rubs often include brown sugar or starch. Stir-fry sauces are frequently thickened. Restaurants also brush on a finishing sauce right at the end, when you cannot taste how sweet it is. If your keto suddenly stops working, start by treating sauce like dessert until proven otherwise. Moving to slide 4. Even when food is not sweet, thickeners can be the carb bomb. Gravies are often built on cornstarch. Soups and chowders can be thickened with flour. Clean packaged foods sometimes use rice starch to fix texture. Then there is maltodextrin. It shows up in seasonings, powdered sauces, and flavored meats. It can raise blood glucose for many people, despite sounding harmless. Dextrose does the same thing, and it is common in spice blends, curing mixes, and anything labeled seasoned. What you do is simple. Scan ingredient lists for starch, flour, maltodextrin, dextrose, and rice. If a spice blend tastes slightly sweet, swap it. The label can look keto, while the powder says otherwise. Moving to slide 5. Sugar alcohols are not all equal, and the label math can hide the impact. Maltitol is the biggest troublemaker. Many people absorb enough of it that it spikes glucose and drives cravings, even when the package says net zero. Sorbitol can also add up, especially if you eat multiple servings. Erythritol is usually the safer pick because most of it is not metabolized, but some people still get digestive blowback that can trigger more snacking. Allulose is often better tolerated than maltitol, but responses vary, especially with larger amounts. Your move is to treat keto sweets like an experiment. If progress stalls, remove products with maltitol first, then test the rest one at a time. That is how you spot the foods that market keto but do not act keto. Moving to slide 6. Keto breads and keto tortillas can be the loudest liars in your pantry. A lot of them subtract modified starch as if it is fiber, but your body often treats it like a fast carb. Resistant starch is another trap. It can stop being resistant once it is processed, baked, or served warm, so the label math stops matching your blood sugar reality. Tortillas are the same story. One brand is fine, another spikes you, and the front of pack claims look identical. Then portion creep kicks in. One wrap becomes 2. One slice becomes a sandwich. And once those bread tastes come back, cravings restart the loop. If a food makes you negotiate servings, it is usually not a keto staple. It is a trigger in disguise. You can do the same with dairy, without realizing it. Moving to slide 7. Dairy feels safe because it is low carb, but it is also where carbs hide in plain sight. Milk naturally carries lactose, so even a small splash can matter if it shows up 5 times a day. A latte, a protein shake, a little extra in scrambled eggs, and suddenly you are stacking carbs you never counted. Yogurt is the bigger ambush. Many tubs that look high protein are sweetened, and even plain yogurt still has lactose. If you want yogurt, choose unsweetened, read the label, and pick the one with the lowest total carbs per serving, not the one with the best marketing. Cream is another place portions grow fast. People log 1 tablespoon and pour 3. If you use cream daily, measure it for a week and see what normal really is. Cottage cheese is similar. It is easy to eat a bowl, and that bowl can be double the serving size. Flavored dairy is the red zone. Vanilla, light, drinkable, coffee style, they often bring sugar or starch. Keep dairy boring, keep servings honest, and it stops being a stealth carb source. Moving to slide 8. Nuts are easy to label as keto, and just as easy to overeat into a carb problem. Start with the obvious ones. Cashews are higher carb than most people expect, and a small handful can eat a big chunk of your daily budget. Pistachios add up quickly too, partly because they are snackable, and partly because you keep reaching back in. The bigger issue is that nuts slide past your hunger breaks. They are calorie-dense, they do not take up much stomach space, and the crunchy, salty reward makes one handful turn into 3. If nuts are part of your day, portion them before you start eating. Do not snack from the bag. Use a small bowl or weigh out a serving so you stop on purpose. Nut butters are the same problem, plus labels. Many add sugar, honey, or syrups. Even when they don't, it's easy to turn 1 tablespoon into 4 without noticing. Roasted and flavored nuts can also carry starch coatings and seasonings that bump carbs. Nuts can fit keto, but only when you treat them like a measured ingredient, not an endless snack. Drinks are where people lose track even faster. Moving to slide 9. Drinks can quietly undo your whole day because you do not chew them, and you rarely log them accurately. The classic is the latte. Even no sugar can mean a lot of milk, and milk means lactose. If you want coffee keto, choose Americano style with a measured splash of cream, or go unsweetened and keep it simple. Zero drinks can still betray you. Some use maltodextrin or other fillers that can act like fast carbs, especially when they show up in powders and flavor packets. Electrolyte mixes are another trap. Plenty are basically sports drinks with a health halo. Check total carbs, not just the front label, and aim for truly unsweetened options. Alcohol is where logging gets fantasy-based. A glass of wine at home is often 2 pours, sometimes 3, and you count it as 1. Dry wines are lower sugar than sweet wines, but the pour size is what sinks you. Measure it once, then you will know what your usual glass actually is. Kombucha often has residual sugar, even the ones marketed as light. If a drink tastes like a treat, assume it needs a label check. That same rule saves you with healthy snacks too. Moving to slide 10. A lot of healthy keto-friendly snacks are just sugar with better branding. Jerky is a big one. Many brands add sugar, honey, or sweet marinades, and you can eat the whole bag without thinking. Deli meats can carry dextrose or other added sugars, plus sweet glazes and things like ham or turkey slices. Protein powders can also sneak in fillers and sweeteners that raise total carbs, especially flavored versions that taste like dessert. Flavored almonds and snack mixes often use starch-based coatings to make seasonings stick, so the carb count climbs fast. Even rotisserie chicken can get you if it has a sugary glaze or sauce on the skin. The move is simple. Read the ingredient list for sugar words and check carbs per serving. Then confirm how many servings you actually eat. Keto is won or lost in these quiet details, and the same kind of detail shows up in places you do not even think of. Moving to slide 11. If your carbs feel mysteriously high, check your medicine cabinet. A lot of products are designed to taste easy, and that usually means sugar or sweeteners that still count. Liquid cough syrup is the big one. Many formulas use sucrose, corn syrup, or honey, and a normal dose can be several grams of sugar. If you take it multiple times a day, it adds up fast. Sugar-free syrups can still contain sugar alcohols like sorbitol that may raise glucose for some people and can also trigger cravings. Gummies are basically candy with a health label. Vitamin gummies, melatonin gummies, electrolyte gummies, they can be pure glucose or they can be starch-based with syrups. Chewables and dissolvable tablets often use dextrose, maltodextrin, or flavored sweeteners to make them palatable. Even standard pills can use starch as a binder, and powders and capsules often include fillers like maltodextrin, rice flour, or natural flavors you cannot quantify. You do not need to panic. You just need to read the inactive ingredients, Check the nutrition label when it exists, and treat these like food inputs. Tight keto is won in the boring details, not willpower. Moving to slide 12. The other quiet carb creep is vegetables, especially when you stop counting because they feel free. Onions and peppers can add up quickly in omelets, fajita bowls, and stir-fries. Tomatoes are fine, but sauces made from them concentrate carbs, and the portions grow when you pour. Carrots sneak into salads and slaws, and they are easy to overdo because they taste sweet. Big salads can still be carb-heavy once you add enough tomatoes, carrots, and onion, plus a dressing that has sugar. One more trap is weighing. Cooked vegetables weigh less because water is gone, so if you log cooked weight using raw numbers, your tracking drifts. Pick one method and stay consistent. Vegetables are still a great choice. Just measure the higher carb ones the same way you measure nuts or cheese, and your numbers stop feeling random. Moving to slide 13. If you want certainty, run a simple test. Pick one suspect category that you think is quietly pushing you out of ketosis. Maybe gummy vitamins, cough syrup, tomato sauce, onions, keto treats, or a zero-sugar drink. Remove only that category for 7 days. Keep everything else as steady as you can, especially total calories and protein, so you are not accidentally running a cut. Each morning, track one thing you can feel. Hunger on waking. Not your mood, not your motivation, just hunger, on a simple 1 to 10 scale. At the end of 7 days, reintroduce one normal serving of the suspect item and watch what happens over the next 24 hours. If morning hunger jumps, cravings come back, or you start snacking earlier, you have your answer. This is how you stop debating with yourself. Moving to slide 14. Do a clean keto reset for 7 days. Whole foods only. Meat, fish, eggs, low-carb vegetables, and added fats as needed. No keto breads, bars, or treat foods. Measure sauces. Do not pour them. Use a simple template you can repeat. Protein plus a low-carb veg plus a controlled fat. Keep it boring and consistent. Subscribe for more keto troubleshooting that actually works. Comment your biggest hidden culprit. This content is for education only and is not medical advice. Talk to your clinician before changing medications or if you have a medical condition. Control insulin. Control your biology.